Nithyanandam, guys! Welcome back to the Kundalini Yogini. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Prasiddha if you're new to the channel. Make sure to subscribe if you're interested in learning all about conscious living and specifically studying and learning about the sciences of the Vedas and Agamas of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, the sciences of yoga, the sciences of Ayurveda. So that's what this channel is all about, and today I wanted to share my story of how I ended up with Ayurveda and why I'm now studying it along my path. So I wanted to just share you guys my background and how I ended up here, how I got to this point and why I ended up in this modality. Okay, so my entire spiritual journey is way too much to fit into this video, but if you're interested in more of that, I have a ton of videos about that on my channel. But anyways, for about 5 years now, I've been studying specifically the path of Hinduism, of Sanatana Dharma, and I have specifically been focusing in the yogic path, the yogic philosophy, and the agamas, or the scriptures that were given by Shiva. So I have been on the path of a worshipper of Shiva and learning directly from the source texts that Shiva gifted to humanity. Now, the yogic path is super complex and minute and vast in and of itself. And this is the really cool thing about Hinduism it's not a religion, it's so much beyond that, because even within it there's just a plethora of different paths to the same ultimate. And the yogic path is one of them. And so for the last few years, as many of you guys know, I have been on the yogic path. I studied and spent the last 2 years of my life actually living in India and studying yoga directly under my guru, an enlightened avatar of super consciousness that come down on earth, that very much exist on this planet continuously throughout human history to guide all of us into conscious awakenings. And my guru is one of those beings, one of those blessed beings. And so I have gotten directly to learn the science of yoga through him so authentically from the actual source, and realizing that what we have as yoga here is not even remotely close to what yoga really is. But that's another story. So on my yogic path, of course, I have been learning a lot about Ayurveda, which is the science of life, or kind of commonly understood as Indian traditional medicine. It integrates a lot into the yogic path. Yoga and Ayurveda are almost like sister sciences, and although they do definitely have different takes on things and sometimes do conflict, they never actually conflict. There's always a lot of merging that happens between them, and a lot of knowledge between the two paths. So unofficially, I have been really starting to learn bits and pieces of this path for a long time now, and especially the philosophy side of it, the beliefs about who we are as human beings and our place in the universe. That I have studied intensely for the last few years under the guidance of my guru, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. But how Ayurveda actually started entering into my life, interestingly enough, was before I moved to India. So rewind about 3 years ago, I was actually a student at University of Southern California in Los Angeles. A really infamous, university in California. It's an amazing school, highly competitive and expensive. I got financial aid to go there, but it was an amazing experience, and I did not graduate. I actually left early because I moved to India. So while I was there, I was studying nonprofit work. I was studying, specifically my major was actually non-governmental organizations and social change. So that was my actual real major. I studied a lot of the social sciences, of international relations, sociology, all these things. But I was very passionate already on my spiritual path, learning about Eastern tradition. And so I kind of started searching around one semester if by any, random series of events, USC might have a class about Eastern philosophy. And the closest class I found was a class on Eastern medicine, Chinese medicine, and Ayurveda. And I was like, I am signing up for this. I didn't get any credits for it, but I really wanted to take the class. So I signed up for this class, totally outside of my major. And my teacher in that class happened to be a doctor of Ayurveda, a man named Dr. Prasad. And later on, he's going to be a part of the puzzle, so that's why I wanted to tell you that. But I took this class, and at the end of our semester, he actually took us on a field trip to the school he actually full-time works at, which is called Southern California University of Health Sciences. and it's actually a college of integrative medicine and all the health sciences like chiropractics, Ayurveda, Chinese medicine. So he took us to his campus and we visited the clinic, and we got to kind of see what it's really like in practice to be in a room with a patient and an Ayurvedic doctor and a Chinese medicine doctor, and see how the different dynamic is between allopathic medicine, Western medicine. So anyway, we went to this school. I had never been there before. It's about an hour away from where I live. It's in a place called Whittier in Southern California. And we visited the campus and I saw everything in action, and I was enthralled, to say the least. I fell even more in love with this, and I was just thinking, man, this is what I want to do. But I felt like, oh, I'm already at school at this other place. It doesn't offer it. I can't go back now. And so I kind of put it to the back burner of my mind, but it felt like such a calling to me already. So then, once I left USC and I moved to India, and I, of course, spent the last 2 years there, my path developed even more in depth with yoga, the yogic sciences, and studying those, and of course completely centered around health, the health of the physical body, the mental state, and the consciousness that this body and mind holds. That's the most important part, of course, of the yogic sciences. But I learned so much about this, and again, Ayurveda kept popping up. Even on our campus in our ashram, we have Ayurvedic doctors, so I started learning some from them when I would, maybe if I got a cold or something, and I started learning information from them and asking them questions. I was just so intrigued by it too, within my path. So one day I was actually at our temple and we were doing this meditation process, and I started meditating, and I remember that whoever was leading the meditation said, just visualize Lord Dhanvantari in your third eye and connect with him. I had no idea who this was, by the way. Within Hinduism, there are hundreds of thousands of gods and goddesses, guys. So as a Westerner, it's quite a process to learn, of course, all the different deities, the gods and goddesses. But she had mentioned to connect to this person who I had never heard of before, this Dhanvantari, and I was like, who's that? So I was in this meditation, and I just closed my eyes, and I was just sitting deeply in meditation, and all of a sudden I got this super clear image, this visualization of this figure, very specifically kind of young looking, thin, had different garlands and gold, different items in his hands, but his face was so distinct. Obviously he was Indian, but he looked so specific in the face, his hair length and hairstyle and everything. And I just felt this immediate feeling connection to this being, Lord Dhanvantari, and I again had no idea who this was at the time. And so after the meditation, it felt like such a real experience that I decided I want to Google this Lord Dhanvantari and see if that was just my mind making it up, what he looks like, or if I really got a darshan of him. Darshan is the word for visualization, getting the sight of the divine. And so I Googled, and sure enough, I pull up a picture, and it is identical to the being I saw in meditation. And I was just so excited, and I mean, so many moments like this have happened throughout my spiritual journey, I should just say that, but I just wanted to share with you guys because this was a really divine part of my experience of why I also know that I was pulled to Ayurveda. So that moment had happened, and it stuck out so much to me, and from then I learned Lord Dhanvantari is the god of Ayurveda. He is the one who actually gifted this science to humanity. There's so many different stories about him in the Vedas, but he is the Lord of Ayurveda, of this medicinal system, and I was like, no way, this is amazing, and I just felt so connected to him. So this was, I think, over almost a year ago. So flash forward now, I moved back to the United States a few months back, and I started to reevaluate, what I want to do here. And again, since for years now, I knew I really wanted to study Ayurveda, and I wanted to be officially certified in it as a practitioner or a doctor so that I could really practice this. My passion in life is healing in many different forms, but health is my passion, health of mind, body, and spirit. That's what I care about the most in this world, and that's what I want to be able to gift to other people. That's really all I care to do with my life. So I started researching, just for fun, Ayurveda programs that maybe would be nearby or online or affordable for me. And so I started, for a month or so researching programs. I came across so many different programs that I looked into, and I ended up coming across Southern California University of Health Sciences program. And I almost forgot my past experience with it, and then it came into my mind. Oh my God, this is the school my teacher, Dr. Prasad, took me to when I was at USC, and I remember I fell in love with this place because they train you in an actual clinic. It's one of the most legitimate ways to get certified in Ayurveda in the US, I should say. Because a lot of the schools are online, or you don't have any clinic hours, like one-on-one with actual person, human being practice, which I think is so essential and important to authentically learn. So SCU, Southern California University, had this, and I was like, no way, I remember this place. This feels like a sign. Like all these things were connecting me back to the school, right? I had years ago been connected to the school through my teacher. There was just so many things drawing me there, and it happens to be 45 minutes away from where I live currently. So not only is it one of the best schools to go to and checked out to be one of the most comprehensive programs I found that I really liked the most, but it happens to be within driving distance, so I can actually be there physically, which is required to be at the clinic and doing clinic hours and practicing and all of these things and actually learning hands-on, which I love. So I was just thinking, this is such a sign. Like, I think this is where I need to be. And I was still a little hesitant. I didn't know if I could commit for 2 years to being in the US. As you guys know, I travel a lot, especially between India, and so it's kind of hard for me to lock myself in, so to speak, for 2 years. But at the end of the day, I went over there for an interview for the program, and after that interview, I just knew this is something I have to do. I know I'm being divinely guided here. This is the next step on my path. And so here I am. I am a student now of Ayurveda, the most beautiful and comprehensive science of health, the human body, the comprehensive science of health of mind, body, and spirit together, I should say, and how to actually prevent disease, promote health, and cure disease as well. And so, wow, this is the next page of my journey, and I really appreciate all you guys who are supportive and following me along the way, and also hopefully learning about this yourselves now just as I am. And that's kind of my goal, is to share this story with you. So this was kind of an introductory video and chapter to a huge chapter of my life and my YouTube sharings, which are going to be centered around Ayurveda. And so I'm going to be having a whole playlist about this. Actually, I already made it. If you check out my channel, I have a few videos already, but I'm going to be continuously making videos about Ayurveda the more and more that I learn, and just be sharing that with you along my way. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this story, and I hope that you really look into this yourselves, because it is such a beneficial, complex, and genius science, which is divine and really understands humans as individual beings. There's not just one formula for health, and that's what I love most about it. In the health world, right, there's so much conflict between what is right, what's real health. There's so many fads happening all the time, right? Like paleo, keto diet, veganism, vegetarian, like all these things, and you hear conflicting opinions about all of them. So what is truth? Well, in Ayurveda, we understand that you can never just say one thing is truth, because it's based on that individual's constitution, what we call prakriti. And so that in itself gives so much of a depth of the wisdom of this science. So I hope that you guys enjoy learning about it along with me, and let me know if you have any questions, your thoughts on this, your experiences with this in your life, if it's been in your life at all. And again, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I love you guys. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you guys on the next video. Nithyanandam.